Hey, what's going on? This is Muriel from the Sunshine Family with Joey, with the pros and cons of living in Costa Rica, especially my area, Santa Teresa. And especially I'm going to highlight something. I don't want to kill your dream if you're dreaming about moving to Costa Rica, but there is something going on that can spoil living here. If you are prepared, then probably it's a little bit less worse. So who am I and why am I making these videos? Firstly, I moved to Costa Rica back in 2018. Let me stand right here. Together with my two growing up kids and my husband Dirk, thanks to our online business, we were able to basically close our laptops in the Netherlands and open them in Costa Rica. And since then, I simply received a lot of questions from people asking me how I've done things and the mistakes I made and how I solved it. So that's why I created the channel. So if you're curious about what it is that I do and teach to people around the world, go out and check out the descriptions and or the comments below my videos. Click on the links and learn more. But now it's really my mission to share, to highlight a huge problem, which is not fun to share because I would rather not share it. But one of the biggest cons of living in Costa Rica, especially in my area, Santa Teresa, is noise pollution. Yes, noise pollution. Hey there, it's so cool to see you, Rain. Noise pollution is a huge thing. And okay, who knows what noise pollution is? Have you heard about it? For me, it's like a new term. Yeah, basically living in an area that's fast developing. Basically, lots of people are moving to Costa Rica, and now you might say, yeah, but you are helping people to move to Costa Rica with all your videos. It's so cool to see that you're coming back down in July this year. I see this comment. That is awesome. But if you're planning on moving to Costa Rica, look ahead around you. If you are planning on buying property, of closing down a rental home, look at the area where you're living. And if it's a highly fast developing area, you have to count on noise pollution. And noise pollution is, funny enough, it's super quiet right now. I only hear monkeys and birds right now. But over in the daytime, probably I better had this video middle of the day. When an area is fast in development and there's lots of construction going on, there is a lot of trucks driving. Well, you hear that on my road. There is a lot of people, workers going from A to B to their construction place on motorbikes. Often bad quality motorbikes, noisy motorbikes. Now there's some traffic coming on my way in the distance. You might hear something. But also in the center of Santa Teresa, I have many friends living in the center of Santa Teresa. They don't sleep anymore because of noise pollution, because a lot of construction is taking place without sticking to the rules of building. And there are rules and regulations according to building that you can only build between 7 and 7. If I'm correct, don't pin me on it, but like you cannot just build during the whole evening and night. It's simply forbidden, but there is no really control. It's not checked. So it's a wild, wild west. I assure you, there's people living in constant construction noise. And if you think, well, one day that will be finished, I'm not sure about that. I was just talking about this with Dirk. Like, well, when everything is built, it's built. And Dirk said, no, it doesn't make sense because the moment that everything is built, the first built houses and constructions need to be rebuilt and redone. And if you look at our roads, if you see this road, right? This is my own road. Okay, this is my private road. Let me stand like this. We are also in construction, but it's small construction. But we have roads like this leading from Montezuma to Santa Teresa. Do you hear the noise now? You hear that motorbike or car, whatever it is? Can you imagine during, how do you say that, the prime time on the road, early morning between 6 and 8, and between more or less 4 4 and 6, it's super noisy. So if you're dreaming about living peacefully and quietly surrounded by the beautiful sounds of the monkeys and the birds that you hear right now, be sure that you know where you will be living. In Santa Teresa, I assure you, there's a lot of noise pollution. Trucks, construction, and then I'm not even talking about people who make sounds. I'm not even saying noise, but where there's lots of people, lots of tourists coming to Costa Rica, there's lots of parties, there's lots of... The other day I was sitting in a restaurant. There's like a whole line of restaurants next to each other. I heard 4 types of music, just as if they're doing a competition on who can play the loudest. That's noise pollution. There's also people living behind those restaurants. So noise pollution is a huge thing. And I hear a lot of people talk about leaving. People who just moved here, like the first expats who moved here like 30 years ago. And it's not just here, it's everywhere around the world, of course, that everything has changed and everything is destroyed. And with the construction, a lot of monkey trees are taken down, and even... You hear this? So this is just nothing compared to the highest peak on the roads. You hear this motorbike? Can you imagine 15 of these motorbikes passing your house? That's happening every day, literally. So noise pollution. Consider to find a very quiet place, but I assure you it will not be in Santa Teresa. It's impossible. There is no quiet place in Santa Teresa. So it's a myth thinking that you're going to be living peacefully and quietly in Costa Rica close to Santa Teresa, because it's super mega crowded here and more people are entering. I understand. I was one of them. I live a little bit outside of Santa Teresa, but still I lived quite outside of Santa Teresa, but Santa Teresa is literally approaching us. Like, we live in the center of Montezuma and Santa Teresa. More and more houses are built on the road from Santa Teresa to my road. And we have a big green zone behind our own property. We have quite some space, 5.5 acres, 2.5 hectares. But you know, the green zone is getting smaller and smaller. I'm not even sure if they do it legally. It's hard to check. It's the wild, wild west. Perhaps if you really want to live quiet, you have to move to the central desert or something, but it's not here. You have to just accept that there is noise pollution. I'm not saying we should all agree to it and do nothing about it. I think we should all help each other, you know, remember in a kind way, please stick to the building regulations. Be kind to your neighbor. I am very fortunate to have very kind neighbors. They're building houses in front of my gate, but the owner is my neighbor, and it's very nice construction team. I told them, you know, I'm coaching. The very first week they started the construction, they turned on the music so loud that I couldn't hear my coaching students from my office, which is kind of close to the road, let's say 40 meters or something. And I went there, I brought 2 pipas, you know, coconut water, and I was kind of said, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Muriel. By the way, I did it on Spanish to, you know, show my respect. But I said, hey, do you mind turning the music down? You might not see it, but behind that green line, there's my office, and I'm a professora. I told them I'm a teacher, you know, I'm a coach. My students cannot hear them. And since then, they play some music, but in a cool way, you know, not that it's really... ruining my students' time with me. So this is, I believe, the way to do it. But still, you cannot do anything against 10 houses are built around your house. Even if they all stick to the rules and regulations, you're gonna sit in the noise all day. And that happened to us as well. Our neighbor took 2.5 years to build her house with 2 people, which is like, so one guy just doing construction work while our house was built in 10 weeks with the whole team. But you know, not everyone can choose to hire a whole team and do it fast. So there's lots of pros and cons of living in Costa Rica. Well, let's say it's a pro. Look around me. Isn't it beautiful? And the con is where there's people, there's noise. And unfortunately, the animals are suffering from those cons of more people moving to Costa Rica, and you see the destruction. So noise, destruction, more and more people like me with a dream. That might be you, but don't let me spoil your dream. I believe you should still follow your dream and bring something positive. That's my solution and intention. Give something back to the community. There's so many ways to do it, but I can make another video about it. But yeah, don't dream about being in total silence. It's not here. It's not in Santa Teresa. So, and I'm just trying to be quiet right now to also be able to show you what silence, how that is. And then what happens when a truck passes my house, which is now happening. Do you hear it? And that's a silent truck. So the more people are moving here, the more trucks, the more workers, the more motorbikes, the more construction noise. Consider it in your choice of moving to Costa Rica, and especially where to move in Costa Rica. With that being said, I'm going to tune out now. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you have any comments, feel welcome to comment below. And to subscribe as well, you can go to my other videos, tap that little link on the screen. And I'm always open for suggestions and ideas. And I don't know everything about Costa Rica. I'm just sharing my own experiences, right? This is what most people are used from me, and I'm going to stick to that. But now I'm going to water the plants because we are in yellow season right now. I think that you can see what yellow season means. It's dry season and everything is yellowing up. And my plants need water. So thank you so much again. See you soon. Bye bye.